Look, I need your help figuring this out. Can Christians make secular music? I'm not saying sinful music. I'm saying secular music. I do believe that there is a difference. Part of my question, I'm even wondering, what does secular even mean? Secular, based off of my research, is meaning activities or attitudes that don't reflect any religious or spiritual connotation or influence. And if we really think about that, the other question I have is like, is there such a thing as secular music? I find the definition and the categorization of secular music to be funny because isn't everything influenced by the spiritual? If you are a Christian and you believe that there's a spiritual realm, you believe that there's a God that sits most high, then don't you also understand that the spiritual influences the natural and the natural is just a reflection? Everything on earth as in heaven, right? Isn't it safe to say that there's only a few ways activities, attitudes, music, anything can be influenced by God, by our flesh, or by the demonic, right? And all three of those have a spiritual base. So what is secular music? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I, as a Christian, sing a song about me and a friend arguing, and then us at the end of the day realizing that our relationship is so important that we should forgive each other and move forward? Now, I get what you're saying. There's no religious base to that song, but is that song secular? It almost even has biblical undertones, preaching about forgiveness and the importance of relationship and valuing connection over offense. That feels more spiritual than a lot of music that maybe some consider as Christian. So when I beg the question of can Christians make secular music, I'm also really asking, what is secular music? And should we divide it in the way that we perceive it to be divided now? Is that something that we should be doing? The problem with boxing Christian music in the way that we do currently is I believe it minimizes how it can reach people. It minimizes the humanity that is so important in connecting to people. There is a reason that God came down, took off glory, and came in flesh as Jesus to do what he needed to do. That human experience, that human connection was so important for you and I to be able to relate, to understand when he says there is no temptation that he hadn't faced, yet he conquered it all. That's important. We have a God that understands everything that we go through. So that means it is important for people to understand that when they're speaking to someone, when they're hearing someone, a perspective, that they can relate, that there's shared experience that is familiar, joy that is familiar, love that is familiar. It almost begs the question that that is one of the most important pieces to Christian music that is needed. People have to be able to connect. We have to be able to connect to God. We have to be able to connect to these artists. These stories that are portrayed in this music has to send a message that is familiar yet pushes them closer to Christ, because then they actually get the true image of God and not this fake, hyper-religious, hyper-fixated, one POV version of God. Now, don't get me wrong. There is music out there that is demonic. So be very careful. There is sinful music out there. There's music that is motivating people to participate in the desires of self and leads you to Sheol. There's music out there that pushes you toward things that just end up causing your destruction. So be mindful of artists that has music that glorifies things that really just cause Why are we promoting popping pills and smashing everything that walks and doing all that? You know what I mean? Why are we desensitizing ourselves? Why are we doing those? Obviously, that's sinful music. But maybe we should do away with the term secular. It's either glorifying God and his message, intertwined with our human experience, or sinful and still intertwined with our human experience. Because the music is coming from us. So it's going to have a human element to it, regardless of what side it's on. But is it ever separated from the spiritual? What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with me maybe a little bit or a lot of bit? Or am I completely wrong? I'm out of my mind and I need to be corrected? And leave it in the comments. Let me know. I have no problem being corrected. I have no problem adjusting my perspective. Educate me. If you got more knowledge than me on this, if you have maybe a revelation that you got that I didn't get, I want to have a conversation with y'all. And since we're on the topic of Christian artists and secular music, I actually have a Christian remix volume series out right now. And if you want to download and support all these secular songs that are popular that you love, I'm literally recreating, restructuring, and glorifying God with it and dropping it. The link is in the bio. Can Christians make secular music? Or is secular music even real?
Amori.